Hello everyone, today I'm in Southampton, England, which is also home to the Titanic, or at least it was a little over 100 years ago. And even now today it's still home to a lot of cruise ships and shipping. There's at least one cruise ship docked there directly ahead, and also several cargo container ships. And just gonna give a quick tour of the downtown area, which we just happen to be right next to. And off to the right, this building here, the TQ, is the Town Quay Marina, and just a lot of sailboats and boating here. And they also have a ferry boat too. This boat directly in front of us here, you can even bring your car on that. And I've asked them if they service, if you could go to France from here, but apparently this company doesn't go that far. It'd be about maybe a 100-mile boat ride to go to France. And they do have some ferry companies that do go that far, but they just don't leave from here. I'd have to go somewhere else. And I actually came here on a boat. I took the Queen Mary here from Brooklyn, New York, and that was about a 7-day trip. And this is my second day here in Southampton, and I'm gonna be probably leaving tomorrow, going to London, and maybe staying there for a couple days. So I just have to kind of hurry up and check the town out. It's kind of the downtown area is kind of small, or at least the tourist area or whatnot, where all the shops are and everything. And it's very westernized. For example, here's a one of the several Starbucks coffees. And thankfully I do have my iPhone with me, so I can check out these buildings here as I walk by. This one here, it looks pretty old, but it's actually probably one of the newer buildings. It's listed as the Southampton Harbor Board building, and basically they ran the harbor from here, and it's showing up as being built in 1925, and it's no longer used for government purposes. It's a Harbor House Club, and it looks to be some sort of a private club. And the traffic signals here are a little bit different than they are in the United States. Also, it's kind of hard to find the street signs, or at least I thought it was. For example, this street here, I can't really see any signage on it. So if I didn't have my phone with me, I would almost for sure get lost. And just crossing the street here. And we got the green arrow. So basically it'll show you the green arrow on the side here. Whereas in the United States, it's more directly visual. And parts of this city are actually very, very old, and at least 1,000 years old. And sometimes there's signage on here that explains what the building is, but this just says Watergate and Quay, and then author Jane Austen. So I mean, it doesn't really explain too well what's going on. Looks like there's some phone booths here. I wonder if these still work. Oh, that does look like that works. Well, it's nice to know they have public telephones in England. And let's see the first restaurant here. This is the La Regatta restaurant. And what kind of a restaurant is this? Let's see, their menu says Pollo al Chorizo, so chicken something. Oh wait, it's in English. Pieces of chicken with light tomato sauce, 7 pounds. And I guess it would depend on how big the piece of chicken and tomato sauce dinner is, but 7 pounds isn't that much money right now. That would be about $8 in the US. So the conversion rate is actually pretty good. For 1 pound converts to, I believe, $1.15. So basically, it's like everything in the country is like 30% off right now. It's about 30% cheaper than it was, say, 5-10 years ago. And here's some more interesting buildings here coming up. Crossing another street. Okay, so there's the street sign there. It's a little strange how they have it. I mean, if you were driving, of course you drive on the left side, but so that sign says French Street. But coming from the US though, I would look for the street signs, you know, kind of higher up than that so you could see them better. So I'm glad right now that I don't have to drive, especially with people driving on the left. It's just a little bit confusing. And here's a couple more interesting buildings here. And this one directly ahead says Dancing Man Brewery Bar and Restaurant. It looks like there's some signage on here. Let's see. Says it was the Wool House building built in the 1300s, and they used this building to store wool for transport. And apparently that's what most of the trade was back in the day, for wool. And this next building here, let's see, Bugle Street. You know, I still can't get over how they have the street signs kind of off to the side like that. This is a really big house. Looks like it's kind of closed. Let me see what it says online here on Google. Nothing's really coming up, or at least nothing really fast. Is the Solent House. That's what the sign up here says. It looks like there's somebody staying here, but it just kind of has that, looking inside, it looks like they got some construction going on. Has that old house smell to it. And online it's showing up they rent this house out, and the whole house is for rent. And apparently the ad says that the house is big enough for 20 people to stay there. So it looks like they're just remodeling it or something. it's always helpful when they post the information on the property itself or the monument. And here's another historic looking monument, and this one says the Mayflower here is remembered by Joseph G. Butler of Youngstown, Ohio, who associates it with the memory of his daughter. So it's a memorial to the Mayflower, which left from here in the year 1620. That's pretty interesting. Not only did the Titanic leave from here, but also the Mayflower did as well. And directly ahead, that hotel, the Holiday Inn, is where I'm staying. And it's in a pretty central location. You're just right next to the port area, and also the Old Town Center and the shopping too. And just crossing some old looking walled off area. And these buildings to the right, they don't look that old. Look to be townhouses. Looks like there's some more old stuff up here. That building looks really old. Let's see what the sign says here. It says it's the West Gate. The West Gate was built after the French raid of 1338 and was an important entrance into the medieval town. It was thought that in 1415, Henry V and his army departed through West Gate on their way to victory at Aegean Court. And it also says that the sailors of the Mayflower also passed through the West Gate, and it looks like this entrance up here would be the actual gate itself. But what's kind of odd is the picture back there, it showed this being like a area with boats. I mean, I know we're pretty close to the harbor, but it looks like this would be the gate area, or at least it was nearly 1,000 years ago. And then I don't see how like they could have had boats out here unless they dug some channel through here. You see, and this sign basically says pretty much the same thing, that this West Gate was built in 1338.
Yeah, it needs replacing, all that stuff.
And this looks like a nice courtyard area, and these townhouses. It says Saxton Gate 1982. I was thinking these don't look that old. See, they're only 40 years old. These are like almost brand new compared to that other stuff over there. Here's another interesting building directly ahead. This one is called the Duke of Wellington. And just make sure no one's coming here while I cross the street. Looks like they have a picture of the Duke up there. And there's no information on the outside, but online this is showing up as a bar and restaurant. And apparently it's got some pretty good reviews. And looking at their menu here, get a pretty big plate of fish and chips for 14 pounds. So 14 pounds would be about a little over $15, or $16. That's not bad. and a lot more old buildings here. I guess the whole town is gonna have a lot of older buildings. And this one looks pretty old. Doesn't even look like anyone lives here. It's no street sign, but Google says we're on Bugle Street here. So let me I'm just curious to see what a house here would sell for. So that's 47 Bugle Street, and just type it into my phone. It says here on Zoopla.uk, which is like a basically like a real estate website in the UK. It says a 2-bedroom 1-bath apartment cost about $205,000 in that building at 47 Bugle Street. But the thing is, though, I kind of wonder, that building looked like it needed quite a bit of work though, so I guess we'd have to kind of see the inside of it before you would really know that's a good deal or not. And this looks like a pretty interesting area. That's a church building, and let's let this guy pass. And let's see here. That looks really old too. It says that's the Tudor House, and looks like you could take a tour of this during the day. It's kind of looks like it might be closed now, but there's a sign that says they do give tours for £6, and to tour the house. And it says this property was built in the late 1400s. Looks like it is closed up. I'm not sure if I'd pay £6 just to go on a tour right now. There's so many old buildings to look at, and it looks like from the back of it, it was built in the 1400s. It looks like it's starting to settle a bit. The building itself, it's not too plumb, but then again, that house is over 600 years old, so I guess it's doing pretty good just to be standing. And that is a rather large spire up there. Pretty big church building. And the sign here says St. Michael's Church, and doesn't give any historic information, but this Sunday service time at 10:30 is still open, and it still functions as a church. Must be at least 3 stories tall, and even those exterior windows go up almost the whole length of the building. Just gonna walk around to this other side. I'm gonna see if I could. It's not showing up online, so some of this stuff, not unless you have a lot of time to research it, sometimes it just, you can't really find out much information on it, and it's helpful if they provide the information. Here's a plaque that says St. Michael's Church. This is the oldest building in Southampton and dates from 1070, when the Norman town was being built. It was the civic church until 1835, where the mayors of the town were sworn in at Michaelmas. So this is the oldest building here, and that's almost 1,000 years old, this building. Built in 1070, and it looks like it also has the name of the street. It says Castle Way. I assume that's the name of the street. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. across the street. And there's the St. Michael's Church. That's pretty impressive for almost 1,000 years ago. And this other building here, this one looks old but in a different way. This is called George's Restaurant, and let's see here what the sign says. Closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and it's open the rest of the week. So it looks like it's still open. And look it online, it says this restaurant has been here since 1940. So still pretty old. And here you can get a deep fried fish scampi for 14 pounds. And surprisingly, the restaurant has pretty good reviews. It almost looks like an empty building though, but yeah, there's still tables in there. That's all. Could have just walked over here and found the whole menu. So it looks like, just in general, a lot of the entrees are between 15 and 20 pounds, which in US dollars, 20 pounds would be $23. And I'm just crossing the street, and this looks like says parking you got to pay for at the machine. One more reason I'm glad I don't have a car, besides having to figure out all this left side of the road driving, you have to pay to park everywhere. And I don't know if I could cross the street very easily, but the building across the street, this is showing up as a church, and apparently it was bombed out during the Second World War. And this is a pretty busy street, and I don't see any street signs as to what street I'm on, but let me see here. Let's see what this, it says Old Town Holyrood Church. I don't think that's the name of the street though. And just checking on Google Maps, this is showing up as High Street. So one more example of I don't know what I would do without the Google Maps. And continuing on high streets, looks like there's a few restaurants here, a Hong Kong cafe. And this also looks quite a few of these look like they just haven't been in business for a while. I'm not sure if it could be because of COVID. Even though it's been 2 years since COVID started, but that's also a problem in the US as well. There's still a lot of closed restaurants. And this is the FYEO, For Your Own Eyes Table Dancing Club. And that is not showing up online, but I think I get the idea. And let me check out a few of these other buildings here. Across the street is the Dolphin Hotel, and this is listed as a 4-star hotel, but some of the reviews are kind of interesting. One person writes, I can understand that the hotel and rooms are set in an older building and things may be somewhat outdated, but to completely disregard cleanliness in the rooms isn't acceptable. First off, there were huge cobwebs in the corner of the window, a buildup of mold on the ceiling and walls of the shower, stains on the walls and carpets, paint peeling off the radiator and walls, no grouting in the bathroom, and horrible smell of paint throughout the hallway and rooms. Anyway, I'm not too sure if I would complain too much about the smell of paint. I mean, at least they're trying to improve the building, but it's not that surprising that some of these older hotels are having problems. And what is surprising is that it's still ranked as a 4-star hotel, but it is cheaper than what I would figure a 4-star hotel would cost. It's listed as at £90 per night, which is about $100. Anyhow, continuing up High Streets, we are in front of another hotel. This one here is called the Star Hotel, and this one seems to be doing a little bit better as far as the online ratings go. Not as many complaints, and the Star Hotel is rated as a 3-star hotel, and that one costs about £70 per night, which would be about $80. And just some more little businesses. Across the street is a insurance broker. It looks like there's a gelato store across the street. It says Sprinkles Gelato. And I'm just gonna go check out Sprinkles. See what kind of gelato they have. It'd be nice if they had a menu outside, but looks like there's quite a selection of gelato ice cream. Looks like there's more than just gelato ice cream. They have those gelato shops in Las Vegas, but it's just the straight ice cream. It looked like they had a lot more than that, like banana split gelatos and stuff like that. And still continuing on High Street. And this looks to be a pedestrian-friendly zone here, closed off to cars. K-style chicken and grill. This looks a little bit interesting. And they do have their menu up, which is convenient. It says KFC chicken, Korean fried chicken, KFC wings, 12 pieces, 12 pounds. So £1 per wing. That's not too bad. They must be pretty good wings. And off to the right looks like some new construction going up, or they might be remodeling an older building. Yeah, it looks like they could be remodeling something there, but then that building further up, that looks like new construction, and this building directly ahead certainly isn't new. And here's some information on it. It says defense of the town. It says the bar gate, built around 1180, kept out intruders and impressed visitors. Any strangers left beyond the barred gates at night could find food and shelter in the inns along above bar street. So basically this area was once walled off around the whole city, or what was then the city. And apparently they no longer have a need for that, and there's even a Burger King right next to the bar gate walls. Let's go check out Burger King. $2.99 double melts. So 3 pounds. It's about $3.50 American money. And it looks like a typical Burger King, but they seem to use in the fast food restaurants a lot more of the self-checkouts, and even as well in the grocery stores they use the self-checkout machines, even more so than they do in the US. It's kind of interesting. And here looks like a grocery store, Poundland and Pepco. Let's see what's going on in the Poundland. That probably means, I think this is like a dollar store, being that the British pound and then is about $1. So this, can't say I've been in too many dollar stores in the United States, but let's check to see what quart of milk is. £1.50. So that would be about $1.75. That's not too bad. And walking out of the dollar store, continuing on High Street.
I need a bed.
And some more shops. Here's a clothing store called John Anthony's, and an iPhone store across the street. And this here is called Boots, and it looks like cosmetics and a pharmacy as well. And across the street is a post office. And this here is a just a shopping mall, basically like most malls you'd find in the US. It even has a iPhone store in it, and has a lot of fast food places inside as well. And here's a convenience store. This one's called Greg's, and they have these throughout the city. It looks to be just a basic convenience. Have pre-made sandwiches, 3 pounds each, chicken fingers, drinks. Kind of expensive chicken fingers at 3 pounds. That'd be about $3.50 US dollars. And overall, this seems to be a pretty clean city. There's not too many homeless people, maybe a couple, but overall it does not seem to have the homeless problem that most of the bigger cities in the US have. However, I'm not sure that's going to be true in, say, London. I've heard there's quite a few homeless there, but I will find that out later on. But overall, it just, you know, it's very well kept. There's no like trash anywhere, and looks to be overall a pretty nice town. And off to the right, looks like there's another Burger King. Burger Kings appear to be pretty popular out here. They're also pretty expensive. A Whopper sandwich is £6. So that's about $7. And here's another Starbucks store. Doesn't matter where you go, there's always at least one, and this is the second one so far today. I don't think there's really any need to go inside of a Starbucks. Oh, I think I might have been a little bit wrong about it being a completely clean city. There's a little bit of graffiti up on the top of that building. I kind of wonder how long that's been for, or maybe I'm kind of getting to the older part of town here. And across the street it looks like there's a park, and I've heard they have quite a few parks throughout town. A lot of open space. And just walked by another Greg's convenience store. And it looks like some of the stuff up here is closed. This was a Italian restaurant. And it looks like we could be getting to the end of the Old Town area. There's another Sprinkles Gelato store to the right, followed by a KFC restaurant. And that's about as American as you can get, a KFC. So I think we're pretty much just about to the end of the Old Town area. And at the KFC it says you could get a 10-piece bucket of chicken for about £6, or that would be $7. So I'm starting to find that the franchise stores seem to be more expensive here. Get better deals just going to just the more of the hometown restaurant types. But then again, they have a lot of these franchise restaurants, so it kind of makes me wonder, maybe people feel like they're safer even if you have to pay more, because they probably do get a lot of tourists going through here. So there must be a reason why they got so many of these franchised US restaurants. But anyhow, that being said, that concludes my tour of Southampton. Thank you for watching.